morning. Lucy's being very needy this morning. Who else is feeling needy? Raise your hand. Let's see. Yeah, I am live. Okay, cool. Guys, even when I'm not on Twitch, I'm just talking out loud, pretending to talk to Lucy so it's less crazy that I'm actually talking to myself. Isn't that right? Happy Saturday, happy weekend, we made it. I don't know if we made it to, everything's still closed, so it's not like anything really changes for the weekend. But yeah. Oh man, I'm feeling yesterday's class. Are you guys feeling that? I don't know if I can feel it like in my hips. Even though I know I did lots of thigh work, so I don't know if it's that or I've been skating a lot lately and I'm learning, so there's a lot of, not like falling on my face or anything, but like falling off, so I keep like slamming my feet into the ground to stop and whatnot. Just probably putting some like impact on my hips. And I'm feeling it. But you know, today's theme is letting go, according to the principles of mindfulness, so maybe I should just let go of the class that I had like planned and just like roll with what's gonna feel good. I was kind of thinking next week would be a lot of restorative yoga anyway, because we really powered through quite a bit this week. So for those of us who've been doing this all together, I really just want to be mindful. Yeah, we'll see. I always feel like I'm going to take it easy and then class starts and I'm like, let's move. That there. Oh, we need singing bowls too. It's looking good. I'm going to lay down here, I'm sorry. Dogs are like the perfect creatures, and also the perfect examples of codependency, aren't they? Water. You're all staying hydrated out there. And tea, if you wake up with tea in the mornings like I do, it's not like the most recommended habit out there. But make sure you drink at least as much water as you drink tea. That's what I do. It's like, I don't drink alcohol, but you're supposed to like drink 1 glass of water for every glass of alcohol or serving of alcohol. It's like every cup of tea I drink a glass of water. Then I'll just drink tea all day. I think you really need a bath. Can I take a shower with me today? Do you guys like pay to get your dogs bathed? I just carry her into the shower with me. She hates it. She just sits in there like sad. But you need a bath. You just smell like a dog. But I'm probably just immune to your smell. Alright, what do I actually want to do today? Some poses that I actually want to get to today. Today is the 16th, the Lord's year 2021. Landon, good morning. How are you today? Hey, can you not eat your foot? Thank you. Great to see you, bright and early. I feel like it's bright and early. I've been waking up every day since the first Sunday of, like, today's our 20th class together. Today's the 20th class I've live streamed, and I still feel like it's early. Sun rose an hour and a half ago. I'm like, pretty good, and you? Yeah, same. I'm like a little tired, but I always feel that way if I don't wake up like an hour before stream. I think I woke up like 45 minutes before stream, which isn't too bad. I'm slowly pushing it forward. Like when I wake up way before stream, like with sunrise, which is not impressive, it's like 6:50 or something like that, 6:55. Then I'm like super awake. I feel like I've gotten so much done. But usually I wake up right before. I make tea, I wash my face, brush my teeth. Like that's it. Set up the space for stream, and I'm like waking up here as everything's beginning, you know? How are you feeling? Is there anything in your body that you'd like to stretch or work on in particular? I don't know what to do. To cow pose. I think that'll be good because we started with eagle arms yesterday. Just putting down some notes. Ow! Ow! Your claws are actual claws, my friend. I know, I love you, I'm sorry. My neck and shoulders can always use work. Cool. And do some shoulder and neck work today. Let's make sure to get okay, bye. Offended. She's offended. Oh, the joy of having a pet with claws. Literally, she's like, and then like right into my foot for grip, even though we have a shag rug. Like anything would be grippy right now. How is Jolene? Yeah, that'll work. I invited a friend, so they may or may not show up. Cool, always invited. Always invited. How does this work? There we go. She's great, chilling in front of the window. Nice. Yeah, Lucy just relocated to like just out the bedroom door, staring out the window because she wants to go on along. WALK, but obviously now is not the time for that. But Daydream might wake up and take her. I'm sure he will. They have a nice little morning routine together that they enjoy. We are just about to get started here. Just about a minute. Well, that's the nice thing about virtual classes. You can sneak in anytime and it's really not disruptive to anybody. Pop in, pop out. No worries. That was my chest and it was stuck all morning and I couldn't get it out. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but anyway. We're gonna get started here. The lineup of classes, we're gonna start with a seated grounding meditation. I'll introduce the topic of the day, the theme of the class, and then that'll be about 10 minutes long, 8 to 10 minutes long, and then we'll move into the movement portion of class, about 50-55 minutes long. Asana, like yoga poses, balances, lymphatic shaking, all of that good stuff. And then we'll end with a nice long Savasana. Once again, if maybe like 7 to 8 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes long. Yeah, so altogether around 75-minute long practice. Everything that I lead you through is an invitation. You know, do what's going to work best for your body. You can push yourself, challenge yourself, of course, but avoid putting anything in harm's way, like your knees or your shoulders. You know what's best and what you're working with. So everything that I lead you through is an invitation, not a dance routine. We'll come to seated. In a chair or on the floor is just great. Hands, let's see. So we just want to be seated up nice and tall. There we go. If you are seated on the ground with the legs crossed, you want the heart over the hips, the head over the heart. And if this brings any pain to your lower back, then just raise your hips up on a pillow, a folded blanket, a block if you have one of those. Once you get your hips higher than your knees, it should alleviate a lot of the pain in the lower back. You know, all the pain in the lower back would be great. Hands come to rest on the knees, either palms down to ground down or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you got a little extra to give today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, you can lower your gaze down just beyond your legs, not looking at anything in particular, not staring, just a soft gaze. We'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, out through the mouth, the shoulders fall away with an audible sigh. Allowing the breath to return to a natural pace, in and out through the nose if that's available. We'll just take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And become present to yourself here in this space. Allowing sounds into your awareness. And perhaps the sound of traffic or songbirds outside the window. And the sound of shuffling from a pet or roommate. Allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. And notice the temperature of the air on your skin. The weight, where your body makes contact with the ground below you. And weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes, like passing through an X-ray machine, scanning for any places of tightness or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. I'm just taking note of these messages your body is sending you to take particular care into working into those spots throughout your practice here today. And shifting the awareness from Annamaya Kosha, the body, to the energetic level, Pranamaya Kosha. Notice on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are at in this moment. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl back into bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. And shift that awareness up to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhale and exhale, whatever space in between. So in yoga philosophy, energy body is also inclusive of the breath. So breath is still pranamaya kosha. When we shift the awareness up to the mind, manomaya kosha, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise. And without engaging, observe them from a distance. Like an image being projected onto a wall. And just notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not good or bad, not right or wrong, just something to notice. When we shift the awareness back down to the breath, this time actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhale fills belly like a balloon expanding. Exhale draws belly button in towards spine, deflating. Inhale fills belly and chest. Exhale releases chest and belly. Inhale fills belly, ribs, then chest, adding an expansion out to the sides. And exhale releases chest, ribs, belly. Flowing like this, belly, chest, ribs, chest on the inhale, and exhaling chest, ribs, belly. Today's lesson is on letting go. I've been studying John Kabat-Zinn's Principles for Mindfulness. It's easy to form attachments to ideas, ways of being, or relationships that are familiar, including those with negative impacts on ourselves. Even your relationship with mindfulness or yoga could turn into an unhealthy attachment. If you find yourself saying, I have to meditate or practice at least 30 minutes a day, every single day, or I'm a failure with this or anything else, then that might be the message for you. Letting go of this preconceived notion, letting go frees you from clinging to ideas, ways of being, or relationships that no longer serve you. It's about having discernment between what is bringing joy, peace, ease into your life, and the attachment of feeling that you need X to achieve that peace, joy, and ease. So on the next exhale, releasing any effort from the breath, returning to a normal breath's pace, perhaps affected from that pranayama, that breathing technique. We'll bring the hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. It might be the intention you've been working with all year, or it might be with the intention of letting go, just for today's class. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. First, a cleansing breath. Release the arms down to the lap, chin drops towards chest, and then inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest, and left ear rolls over to left shoulder. Just allowing the head to gently roll side to side. Eyes can stay closed for this. We'll begin to roll the shoulders forward, bring the head back through center, back through neutral. Get the chin up. Just opening the space, large or small, fast or slow, whatever works well for you. There we go. Rolling the shoulders back. Nice. A stillness in the shoulders. We'll just begin to work on this neck mobility. So the chest stays where it is. We'll bring fingers up so you're like touching where your jawbone ends, where it's going to go up towards your ear. And then just bring it out a couple inches. I'm going to attempt to slide the head from side to side. So I'm not turning my head, no. Sliding. Trying to hit each fingertip. There's like a temptation to do this. Shoulders are relaxed, they're not moving. Just sliding. Been like practicing this since I was little because I really loved Bollywood. One of my best friends in elementary school is from Gujarat, so we did a lot of it. So if it doesn't come naturally to you, it's okay. Just bring your fingers in closer. Even if you're just going a centimeter in each direction, we're just opening up new areas in the neck, the cervical spine. And we're breathing. I should mention that. Don't hold your breath during this movement. 3, 2, 1. Back to the middle. Just shake it out. Look left and right. All right. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the movement a little better, but you can stay facing forward, whatever really works for you. Like stay facing the screen. We're staying seated up tall. Chest is going to stay where it's at. Body's going to stay where it's at. Just the neck and head are going to move. Chin tucks towards chest, and we scoop down. It's almost like I'm drawing a circle with my nose. So I can't go any further. I begin to go up, back, and I tuck the chin back in towards the chest. Smooth that movement out. Very tempting to round in the upper back or try to get the shoulders or back and bald. But just try your best to focus on just the neck moving. So mostly you want to just focus on your head, leading with the nose. So we're opening up new parts of your cervical spine, space between all those little neck bones. And those of you in chat who took anatomy class with me for trying, I think we have 7 or we have 5 cervical bones. I think we must have 5, huh? Alright. We've got one more like this. Then we bring it back to center. Now we have another direction to go. So looking up, you bring it all the way forward. Now you're leading with your chin, like you're going to scoop down, pull it up, reach it forward. So this is a great exercise to bring into the daily. You don't need to warm up to do this or anything. If you need a break while you're drawing or editing or reading, anything that you're like looking down all the time for, or your neck starts to hurt, you can do like 8 to 10 rounds in each direction. You can even do less. We're doing about 5 or 6 here, so it's going to be a nice little break up if you have a stiff neck. Alright, we'll bring it back to center. And just give the ear a drop side to side. Just kind of releasing that. Nice. Cool. Inhaling, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bending over to the right, left arm reaches over, and then leading with the left arm, big sweep in front of the body. Big circle. Inhaling up through center, get tall. And exhale, side bend and sweep. Inhale. Exhale. There's really no wrong way to do this movement. Just waking up the spine. And we'll change directions, sweeping all the way over to the left. And crossing in front of the body. Right, so letting go of any expectations of what this movement's supposed to look like. Doesn't even have a name, it's completely made up. But it does function to bring movement into the spine, shoulders, rib cage. And there's really no right answer. And then we'll bring the arms back up overhead. Bend in the elbows, hands come to ear height. Give the hands a wave. And play piano, so my elbows don't move. Just my hands are going from full range of motion, left and right, wiggling fingers, stretching out the tops of the hands. Then palms flip. Hands are pressing back as far as they can. Fingers spread wide. Hands are turning like tossing pizzas. And we'll shake off water. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Then legs come out in front. So I'll bring Chad over here to me so you can actually see. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. Change directions. We'll bend in the knees, feet come about mat's distance apart, and we'll just drop the knees left and right, left and right. And the next time the knees are over to the right, we'll come into tabletop pose. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Bring the legs a little closer here so you can actually see better, I think. Alright, so we have fingers spread wide. On the inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin tucks towards chest for cat. Inhaling through cow, following the pace of your breath, so the speed of your body informed by the length of your breath. So it takes the entirety of the exhale to get to your fullest expression of cat pose, the entirety of your inhale to get to the full expression of your cow pose. Now your next exhale through cat pose. Release back to neutral in tabletop. Okay, I'm just going to turn towards you so that you can see what my hands are doing. I'm going to turn my hands out to 3 and 9 o'clock. And then they can stay that distance away, or if you know you have a little more space to play with, you bring your hands closer to make it basically more difficult, or bring your hands apart to make it more accessible. And the movement here is a sway side to side, but it's super slow motion. Super slow motion. Hello, good morning. And we're just pressing. So the fingers stay spread wide. We don't lift off of the palms no matter what. And it should feel like a pretty intense stretch on the wrist. Like I've seen like grown men like almost cry. Namaste, my friend. We've been working on wrist stretches like this for something like 17 years. So don't feel like there's, like, just let go of what this is supposed to look like. Once again, it doesn't even have a name. just a deep wrist stretch. This is just undoing some. I know some of the people in chat right now are artists as well, so I know what gripping a stylus or a pencil is like. Undoing some of that. If you guys play video games, same deal. This is like physical therapy for all of that. So we're going to press over to the right, just right at the edge. Should feel intense, but not sharp pain. You're going to pass out. You want to be at like an 8, not a 10. And we've got a full deep breath here. Then bring it over to the left, keeping that palm pressed down as well. Right, so we're learning where the edge is. Sometimes our body can go past where is safe, so we just want to keep that in mind and avoid that. Full deep breath. Back to center. Bring the palms back to facing the normal direction. Toes tuck under. Sit back on the heels. And I'm just going to kind of shake out the wrists. Kind of do a little wrist floss thing. Just going to lift this. See what I'm up to. Cool. Alright, so I'm sitting back on the heels. I'm getting my feet a nice stretch here. The further you lean back, the more of a stretch you get on the heels. You might even get a nice little stretch on the top of your quads, depending where your tightness level is in the legs and hips. And we're coming down for one more wrist stretch. Back to tabletop pose. I'm going to turn the hands in. So I'm flipping my palm under. My fingers are facing my knees and I'm on the top of my hand. Maybe that's enough. You can go one at a time, or you can bring the other hand under too. So like I said, intense, great. Sharp pain, not great. So if your body starts panicking, there's no prize for doing both hands at the same time. You know, we're just, we're all working where we're at. So once you're here, there's a chance that you got here and your elbows are bent out. Your work is towards straightening it so that the inside part of the elbow is facing forward. That's how you know your arms are totally straight. That's where you're headed. If you're here and you're like, okay, yeah, I feel this, but I don't feel much of a stretch, and keeping the wrists on the ground, you're going to slowly begin to press back. Like really slowly. Like listening to your body more so than what I'm telling you. You want to be connecting with where your edge is. And you're definitely not leaning back if your arms are not straight. So you can go ahead and switch over to the left hand or the next hand if you're just doing one at a time. If you're doing one at a time, you also do not want to be leaning back. You want to be building that endurance right here in this vertical shoulder over elbow over wrist situation. You don't want to be leaning back on top of that. So we're building the strength of the wrist here. We're building resiliency. We're building the percentage of a chance that, you know, God forbid you fall and land on your wrist instead of breaking. It has a good chance of surviving and not having to be sprained and all of that unfortunate stuff. We're trying to avoid tendinitis and all the stuff that can go wrong with people who use their hands all day working. All right? We got one more deep breath here. You can untuck the hand, untuck the hand, whew, toes tuck under, sit it back. All right. So I just like giving my wrist like a little bit of like a massage. I like push the blood up from my forearms into my wrists. Oh, yeah. So we got like a bunch of bones in the wrist and like not that much, like as many blood vessels. So this is an interesting part of our bodies connected to such a sensory, you know, accumulation as in our hands. Anyway, enough nerding out about anatomy. Let's bring it back to tabletop pose. Don't worry, we won't be here very long. What I really want to do is just inhale, the left arm sweeps up. And exhale, I'm going to weave it under, reaching through, landing for thread the needle. This is one of my favorite like shoulder stretches, so I just wanted to get that in for my friend who said he had some shoulder stuff going on. So we have this left arm on the ground. I'm pressing this arm into the ground like super strong so that I can get a nice stretch at my shoulder blade in the back. My hips stay over my knees. Maybe this right hand reaches forward. I like that. That feels good on this top shoulder for me. And I press into the ground or even grab my yoga mat and kind of like use it as leverage to keep my chest open towards you, towards the long side of the mat. Alternately, you can bring your hand to the lower back or even to the inside of the left thigh. If to get to that left thigh you have to round in your shoulder, then it's not worth it. The whole idea is to keep the chest open to the sides. There's a twist in this position. You might want to play with extending this right leg long. I keep my foot on the ground in the beginning just to get my bearings straight. And then I might begin to float this foot up. Just levitate it up. Speed is not your friend here. Momentum is not your friend. You want to go nice and slow, like moving through honey. And I'm just reaching this leg up. By lifting it, yes, I get to play with balance and all of that, but I'm also bringing more weight into this bottom arm to get a nice deeper stretch. I'm going to slowly float that foot back down. Knees come down onto the ground, hand comes in front of the face, left arm sweeps open to the sky, and release that hand down to the ground. I'm just going to turn so I can stay facing you. Opposite arm, that's the right arm, sweeps open towards the sky, reaching tall, exhale, weave it under. Releasing side of the head and shoulder onto the ground. This shirt is not working for me. There. Alright, so this bottom arm is pressing strong into the ground to give this right shoulder blade a nice stretch. Maybe the left arm reaches forward to give the top arm a stretch. And I'm pressing that one into the ground as well. If you played with the hand at the lower back or inner thighs, now you're grabbing your right inner thigh. The last side, you might want to do that on this side, just keeping it nice and even. You'll know. And we can play with balance here, extending the left leg long, keep my toes on the ground. Here's a valid place to be. Alternately, you can point the toes and begin to levitate that leg up towards the sky. So I'm just engaging the whole backside body, so glutes, extending the leg straight, pointing the toe, just so it's like a nice long straight line of energy, and all the while I'm keeping my chest open. So the possibility here is to roll back and fall back. If that happens, it's okay, just like begin again. I've done it, we've all done it, I almost just did it right there. But instead, we're using this bottom arm as a kickstand. Right? Strong in the body, strong in the breath. We'll slowly levitate this leg back down. Toes touch down. Knee touches down into alignment. Left hand comes in front of the face. Right arm sweeps open, just like pressing rewind. And release the hand down to the mat. Turn so facing the front of the mat with you guys. Right foot steps up to in between the hands. Left foot steps up to meet it. Deep, deep bend in the knees. We just heel toe the feet out towards the edges of the mat. And here we can extend one knee and then the other, bending deep. Keep the knees bent deep enough that the hands are on the ground. That feels good. Just waking up the legs here a little bit more.
And you can release the head heavy, giving a nod yes. Giving it a shake no. You can grab opposite elbows to create a frame for the head. For ragdoll, giving yourself some free movement here. Just letting the spine be heavy. Knees can be a little or a lot bent. Just give myself a little sway, like almost making like an infinity sign, but really you can do whatever feels good for you here, just swaying side to side. Almost making like an infinity sign, but really you can do whatever feels good for you here, just swaying side to side. Just in this first major forward fold of class. Thanks, yeah, it's pretty relaxing. Welcome to join. Oyster. Now let these movements become a little bit smaller until we're back at center. Release the arms. And heel toe the feet back together. So I just have my knees really bent to make that happen. Inhaling to a halfway lift, hands on shins. Crown of the head's towards the front of the wall. Tailbones reaching towards back of the wall. Almost like you're making the number 7 with your body. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. So a little bend in the knees, one vertebra at a time. Heavy head comes up last, and then arms sweep up overhead. Inhaling, eyes look up to follow the hands. Exhale, hands down to heart center. And then bringing all of the weight into the left foot. The right knee floats up. Then we'll hinge on the left hip. So the head comes forward like a seesaw, and the right leg reaches back. Hands come onto the left thigh, pressing the thigh back, like you're making the letter T with your body. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Just here for the transition as we bend in the left knee and float down, landing in a high lunge. Amazing! All right, so we've landed. I'm going to drop my right heel down, bringing the foot to a 45-degree angle for Warrior 1. So if dropping that heel down brings a weird like torque to this knee, let's avoid that at all costs, and instead heel toe the left foot a little bit further out. So instead of on a balance beam, we're more so on train tracks. Just going to lift this. Whoosh. There we go. Okay, so now I'm on, like, my feet are close to the edges of the mat, a nice wide stance. My back foot's at 45 degrees to the top right. Left knee is over left ankle. Hands come onto the hips. Notice your left hip might have, like, drawn forward. Pull it back into alignment. So if there were strings attached to your hips going forward to hit the wall, they'd be the same length. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, shoulders melt away from the ears. You can do that by just bending the elbows a little bit. This is Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So we're nice and strong here. Deep breath in. Gaze might even look up for a little balance challenge. And then exhale, hands release back behind you. Maybe they interlace, like you're holding your own hand. If not, just make fists and they go straight back behind you, like you're going to try and get your knuckles to touch. If they do reach, if you are holding your own hand, then it's a pull back and down. So my shoulders are pulling back and down, like my knuckles are going to touch the ground. And from here, squeeze the glutes tight to protect the lower back, as they give a little lift to the chest, just like a baby back bend. Deep breath in here. And out. Hands release, arms sweep up overhead. Then we're transitioning into Warrior 2. Heel toe the left foot back to the center of the mat. And then give the right foot a step back. So now my right toes are facing the long side of the mat, left toes are facing the front, just like before. And if I were to draw a line from my heel straight back, it would intersect the arch of this back foot. Arms come down to parallel to the ground like the letter T. Now my hips are open towards the long side of the mat. Beautiful. Left knee still over left ankle. And we look over the left fingertips towards the horizon for our drishti, our focal point where our eyes go to rest, where I imagine the sky would meet the ocean. Inhaling drops the right arm down, left arm sweeps up on the inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, we cartwheel the arms down to frame the front foot, turning onto the right toes. Left foot steps back to meet right foot. Nice. Then release the left knee down to the ground, dropping back onto the right heel, just like we were in Warrior 2. Right arm reaches up for a side plank. So I'm stacking the right shoulder over the left shoulder. Maybe this is so option here to bring the hand overhead. So I'm pressing into the pinky side edge of the foot, reaching through the left fingertips. Full body stretch here, or full side body stretch here. Deep breath in and out. For more of a strength challenge, and if your wrist is feeling okay, you can attempt to lift this bottom knee up off the ground. So it's on the ground, it's lifted. Whew. You got a breath here wherever you're at. And releasing the knee back down, hand comes down. We press it back to full plank. Straight line from the heels to the crown of the head. Deep breath in, press it forward onto the tiptoes. And exhale, lower down halfway. So we're not going past 90 degrees in the elbows. Then tops of the feet flip. Chest presses through for Urdhva. What is it? For upward facing dog. Brain blank there. So I'm squeezing the glutes. Tops of the feet are pressed into the ground so hard that the knees stay lifted. Shoulders, blades are pressing together. Chest is pressing forward. Deep breath in. And exhale, downward facing dog. If you've been playing with that toe flip we've been working on, you can roll right over the toes, if not one at a time. It's just beautiful. We find our spacing here in downward facing dog. The closer your feet are to your hands, the deeper the stretch in the legs. The farther your feet are from your hands, the deeper the stretch in the shoulders. So one's not better or more advanced than the other. It's just where you'd like to feel that stretch today. We're just allowing the heels to drop towards the ground. It doesn't matter if they touch or not. Just the direction of the energy. Head is heavy. Deep breath in through the nose. Side out. One more time like that. And the right leg reaches up and back behind you, like your toes are going to touch the back wall. Exhale, knee in towards nose, rounding in the spine like through cat pose. This is called tiger. Shoulders come up over the wrists, look up between the hands. Right foot steps up between the hands. Left foot steps up to meet it. Big toes come to touch, a little space between the ankles. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. Bringing the weight into the right foot. Left knee bends and floats up. Another breath in here. And exhale, we hinge on the right hip. So as the head comes forward, the leg goes back like a seesaw, counterbalance. Hand comes on top of the right thigh, pressing that thigh back for stability. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. So I'm trying to keep my hips square to the ground, Make the letter T with my body. Baby bend in the right knee as you slow motion float the left foot down to the ground. High lunge. Awesome. Whether you landed or not, the fact that you attempted that is a win. So we're coming into Warrior One. Would you like to turn another time? We'd love to know if you have a schedule. Yes, so the yoga schedule, so you've landed, okay? So I'm here every single morning at the same time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, every day for the month of January. So come back tomorrow or any other day. Same time, same place. Would love to see you here. So we're landing in our Warrior One with the right knee over the right ankle. The back foot is landed 45 degrees out. We're nice and wide. Feet are closer to the side edges of the mat. Hands come onto the hips. This time the right hip's going to have a tendency to pull forward. So I want to pull the right hip back. Press the left hip forward so that they're the same distance from the front of the room. Nice. Arms come up overhead. Deep breath in. And exhale, shoulders melt away from the ears. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Amazing, amazing. I'll see you Sunday. Namaste, my friend. Right knee over ankle. Strong in the legs. Strong in the breath. Hands release down, back behind you. If they interlace, change the interlace. So whichever finger was on top, see this finger's on top? We bring the opposite finger on top. So it's our awkward grip with the hands. Should feel a little weird. That's okay. We're creating new pathways in the brain every time we use a non-dominant hand. Shoulders pull back. Arms are knuckles are pressing down towards the ground. If your hands are not interlaced, it's okay. You're in fists. You're pulling back. Chest lifts up. Squeezing the glutes to protect the lower back. We don't want the lower back to be bending like the letter L. We want the chest to be lifting. There's a stream pulling you up towards the sky. So if you're into that brainwave connection, creating new pathways, what you can do to challenge yourself is use your non-dominant hand to turn on any lights in your home today. So if you're right-handed and you usually turn all the lights on with your right hand, you might not even notice that you do it, but we tend to do that. Attempt to only turn lights on and off with your left hand today. A little brain challenge. Another deep breath in here. The exhale brings you back through center. Arms come up overhead. And then heel toe the right foot to the center of the mat. We'll take a step back with the left leg. And arms come down for Warrior Two in this direction. So my right knee's over my ankle. I'm pressing into the pinky side edge of that foot. I'm going to turn so I can still face you. But you don't turn. You just be right where you're at. The right foot forward, the left leg back. Warrior Two. Gaze goes over the fingertips. On the right hand this time, giving the neck an equal stretch. Shoulders are melted away nice and soft. Fully breathing here. Taking a moment to remember what your intention was, what your dedication for this practice, your why am I even doing this? And then the left arm releases down, right arm reaches up for a side bend, a reverse warrior. Deep breath in, reaching through the right fingertips. And exhale, we cartwheel the arms down to the ground to frame the right foot. Right foot steps back to meet left foot in our plank pose. Release the right knee down to the ground. Drop the left heel to the ground. And arms stack on top of one another. Left arm reaches up, stacked over right arm. Side plank. Deep breath in here. And exhaling, the arm reaches up and overhead. Reaching, reaching, reaching. I'm pressing through the pinky side edge of this foot, reaching through the fingertips here. I'm really opening this whole side body. an option here for a challenge, lifting the bottom knee. How do I do that? By really engaging this whole hip area. Oof, we got one breath here. Release the knee down to the mat, nice and gentle. Hand comes down, knee comes down. We're back in our plank pose. Lifting the knees, pressing the heels back. Inhale, shift it forward onto tiptoes. Exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Elbows are squeezing into the rib cage. Tops of the feet flip. Chest presses forward. Shoulders pulled back. Upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Hips pressed up high. Toes tuck under. Finding your spacing. Fingers spread wide. Give the head a little shake. Releasing the neck. Deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Side out. And the left leg sweeps up and back behind you. Exhaling, tiger pose. Knee in towards nose. Rounding in the spine onto the tiptoes of the right foot. Shoulders come up over the wrists. Left foot steps up to meet the hands. Right foot steps up to meet it. Big toes come to touch. A little space between the heels. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Turn to face one another. We're just going to give it a shake. Oh, just adjust this. Actually, let's take a sip of water, because we just built up a lot of heat. And if you're feeling it, I'm feeling it. Just take a moment to take a sip of water, just regroup, figure out how jewelry works. No, just take a moment here. Take a breather. All those warrior poses are full strength. Doing great. Woo. Sorry, I just slammed my narwhal tea into the desk. Beautiful. Well then. So, meeting back where we left off. Let's just get started on our lymphatic shake. So this is part of our daily practice, and it helps relieve tension from the body, stress from the mind. So we're just going to give it a bounce. Just letting my shoulders rise and drop, rise and drop. Shake my hands out. My knees are nice and soft. Give the leg a shake out, other leg shake out. The whole idea is to bring a bounce to the body. Angry narwhal, yeah. The whole bounce to the body. You can do this by lifting the heels and letting them slam down to create kind of a bounce reverberation, or you can give it a whole big jump. So those like 1980s jazzercise personal, what's it called? Personal trampolines, literally perfect for lymphatic shaking. So we're draining the whole lymphatic system here. Just keep it going. Just let your whole body flop. Like really, let go of there being a right way of doing this. Let go of like how silly you look. Like you literally take up the whole area of your mat. If your downstairs neighbors don't hate you already, we're just shaking it all out. Any tension, whatever you got going on, just like literally let it go. And just keep going. Like when you feel like stopping, just don't. Just keep literally just push through it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Nobody can see you, right? Just try it out. When you feel like really frustrated, or if you have a dog, when they get frustrated, they shake it out. They like, and just like start again. Like that's what we're doing. Every morning, opportunity to do that right here, right now. Whew. Physical, mental, drain, reset. All right, so now for the emotional, right, spiritual. We have our breath of joy, which is our 4-part breathing pattern to release and really like sink in this practice. And what that looks like is 3 sips of air in that equal 1 big inhale and 1 big ha out. So the movement looks like this. I inhale 33% of the air in, inhale 33% of my lung capacity in, inhale 33% of my lung capacity in, and then a big ha on the exhale. So like chair pose, belly to thighs, arms sweep back. So in, ha! And you just yell. It's great. 10 of those. In, ha! In, ha! 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 Whatever you're holding on to, let it go. Ha! Ha! Just 3 more. You haven't jumped in yet. Do it now. Ha! Ha! Last one. Make it count. Ha! Just taking a moment here. Legs can come on nice and wide, feet grounded on the floor. One hand comes to rest on the belly. One hand comes to rest on the heart. Eyes can close. We just take a moment here to observe what was created. Just like took your life, took your body like a snow globe and gave it a righteous shake. So you just want to observe where that glitter dust settles. What came up for you? Heart rate, body temperature, what else? Beautiful. Gently blinking the eyes back open. And turn this so I can be close to you. And turning to the top of your mat. We'll inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. And exhale, hands down to the ground. We're coming all the way down to seated. I lost my hat at some point. Having a hair day. I don't want to call it a bad hair day, but I'm definitely having a hair day. You know? Where'd my music go? There we go. All right. Awesome. So we're actually going to come to kneeling here. Just turning to the side so you can see what I'm actually doing. There we go. So seated on the heels, like as before. And the hands reach forward. Turn the hands away. We're reaching back. Fingers interlaced, just like we played with before. Deep breath in. the exhale, we slowly lower down. So if you want to watch the first time, just so you know where we're headed, so you don't have to like look at me with your like upside down. I let my forehead touch the ground, and then I lift my hips over my knees until I'm on the flat part of my head. So there's like your head actually has a flat part on top. I'm not rounding my neck. There's still a length here. The weight just happens to be in my head. Then the arms reach up towards the sky. Maybe they reach towards the front wall. So giving my shoulders a nice stretch. This is called Yoga Mudra pose, symbol of yoga pose. The heart is higher than the head. So just breathing here, giving the shoulders a stretch. It's gentle inversion. You're going to bring the hands back down to the lower back. Bring the hips down to the heels. And back up to seated. Nice. Taking a moment here. Let the legs come out in front. Tadasana, staff pose. So I'm sitting like the letter L. I bring my feet forward, just dragging my butt kind of across the ground to help tilt the hips forward. Want like a little anterior tilt. Pressing my heels away to bring the backs of my knees closer to the ground. There's still space, it's okay. Deep breath in here. And exhale, we roll forward. Belly, chest, head folding over the legs. So it's more of a nose towards toes kind of movement than a forehead to knee. My hands can come down onto the legs, onto the feet, wherever feels good for you. And just breathing here in this forward fold. Every exhale melts your body down a little softer, and every inhale, it's like you're trying to get the crown of your head to touch your toes. Breathing fully here, notice with the contortion of the pose, the belly might be blocked off from fully breathing in. So we redirect the breath to in between the shoulder blades, to the backside rib cage. Now one more deep breath here in our Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Head to feet pose, what it translates to. And roll it all the way back up. Seated. Bend in the knees. Hug the knees in as we roll back. Giving the knees a hug. Give it a rock side to side. Little lower back massage. And then the knees fall over to the right. Left arm opens up like the letter T. So I'm pressing my left shoulder down towards the ground. Right hand lands softly on top of the left knee. But there's no effort here except the left shoulder connecting to the ground. Otherwise, everything's melted, soft. Let gravity do the work. And head comes back up through center. Knees come up through center. Gently release the knees over to the left. Right arm opens up like the letter T. Left hand lands on top of the right knee. It doesn't matter if the knees are touching or on the ground. Just letting the body fall where it falls. The arms straight out to the side. And the head can look over that extended right hand to complete a balanced spinal Tadasana. Reclining or supine spinal twist. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center. And then just notice, is there any last movement or wiggle or stretch that your body's asking for? It doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name. It can literally be anything at all that's going to round out your practice as we bring it down here. We're preparing for Savasana, final relaxation pose. If there's any body part that called out for your attention that doesn't feel like it was given attention, during that beginning body scan, now is the time to address that. You might grab a blanket or put on some socks. Body temperature does lower in this next meditation. Taking your time, there's no rush. This is the intuitive part of class where I'm not telling you what to do, you're listening for if your body is telling you what to do. And making your way into your Savasana final relaxation pose. You can stay laying down on your back. I'm just going to come to seated so I can play some singing bowls for you. If laying down flat on your back brings any pain to your lower back, just roll a towel or a blanket or bring a pillow below your knees. You can keep your knees bent. That should alleviate some of that tension. Feet come to land at least a foot apart. Legs so relaxed that the feet splay apart. Arms land down by the sides, 6 inches from the body. Palms face open, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity, allowing yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, a soft gaze towards the sky works. And we'll start this practice just as we started the last meditation, with 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose and an audible sigh out through the mouth. Just let the breath continue at a natural pace. And invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. And all the muscles surrounding the mouth and jaw relax. Muscles surrounding the nose, nostrils, release. Allowing the breath to become longer and deeper in exhalations. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching. The space between the eyebrows broadens as the muscles of the forehead relax.
The muscles around the ears, back of the head, top of the head, all relax. Neck and throat release. And shoulders melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists. Palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, alive with vibration. Whole hands, alive with creative potential. Rest now and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle and lower back. Rest, grounded into the earth below. Chest naturally rises and falls. And belly naturally rising and falling. And the pelvis, glutes, hips, rest heavy. Thighs and knees relax. Lower legs and ankles release. The heels, arches of the feet, tops of the feet, toe ball mounds, all of the toes. Rest. Whole resting. Whole body integrating. Whole body integrating. It's easy to form attachments to ideas, ways of being, or relationships that are familiar, including with those that have negative impacts on us. Letting go frees you from clinging to ideas, ways of being,
or relationships that no longer serve you. As we build up our relationship to the different levels of ourselves, Annamaya Kosha, the body, Pranamaya Kosha, energy and breath, Manomaya Kosha, the mind, thoughts and emotions, Vijnamaya Kosha, our wisdom, we'll be better able to deliberate what is truly serving us and our communities, and what is actually harming us. And then we have the choice to truly let those in the latter group go. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice always makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's the good news. And gently invite your inhalations to deepen and become longer than your exhalations. And that feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of lightness and expansion. Every inhale bringing you closer to the surface, front side of the body. Fingers begin to curl and toes begin to wiggle. The head can gently rock side to side. Arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. And the knees can bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural. Landing in a fetal position, you can use that bottom arm as a pillow. Fully released and fully supported by the earth below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class, or perhaps setting one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. Using as little effort as possible, eyes can even stay closed, press your way back up to seated, just like how we started class. To meet at heart center, palms pressed together, Anjali Mudra, thumbs into the sternum, no space between the fingers. Today, we practice with our 7th and final lesson on an introduction to the principles of mindfulness by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Today's focus was on letting go, and practice that through some breath of joy, lymphatic shaking, and a slew of powerful warrior poses. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another, to everyone that held this space. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone who showed up to practice, to lurk, to listen in, to join in. I hope you found something that serves you. How's everyone feeling after class? Namaste, my friend. I hope I got some shoulder stuff in for you, Landon.
shoulders have like so many different variations. So really we just got this stretching and this stretching. There's like so many more. It's like such a really incredible joint. But yeah, more to come as always. There's always like so many more, so many like games I want to play and stuff. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. I really appreciate that. And I love your company. Like having someone around and I'm like, yes, this person understands my daily struggle to claim myself as an artist and create. And I'm like, all my art school friends, they get it. They get me. I don't know if that's good or bad. But yeah, doing my best to stay positive and optimistic. It's like a dark place back a couple of weeks ago, but I think this class has helped me a lot too, even just on a, I don't want to say selfish, but like personal note. It's just been great to have a reason to wake up every morning. That sounds really dark, but you know what I'm saying, like at the same time. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Like, I'm just more likely to show up for other people than I am for myself. And I'm trying to change that this year. Not lower the amount of time, raise the amount of times that I show up for myself, you know? Feel very stretched out of everywhere, especially neck, chest, and shoulders. Yes, yay, I'm so glad. Definitely see if you can bring these movements, you know, into your day. Like, it's like silly, but actually physically, like it helped reduce the migraines I was getting back when I had my locks. Like, everyone who like doesn't know me IRL and like hasn't known me for the past 7 years, I haven't cut my hair in I just cut my hair November 5th. So I'm wearing a hat because it's not, you know, it's not a great hair day. I'm in a very awkward stage right now. I like shaved it all off and now we're here. So I look like my little brother. So I don't like that. So what's it called, when I had really long locks, like down past my hips, and I was getting these gnarly migraines, and I went to a friend who's into primal movement and functional body training, and he's the one who taught me these. His name's Rome Zarangatsky. It's very like Russian name. And actually I think he's Croatian. And anyway, no, he's from Chechnya. He's Chechnyan. There we go. Oh my gosh, don't tell him that I just gave him like 3 nationalities. He's Chechnyan. It's like a very specific culture. Anyway, he taught me these neck movements, literally changed my life, and now that I cut my hair, obviously that's really helped with my neck as well. Honestly, totally feel the same. Actually, I only woke up today because it was for the friend I invited. Well, you know, I get it. I totally get it. That's like one of my intentions / resolutions, if you want to use that word. And people don't like. A lot of people are triggered by the word resolution for 2021. I get it. But yeah, so we'll just go with intentions. One of my intentions is to be at least as good a friend to myself as I am to others. Because ultimately, if you're only doing things for other people, you can be a great friend, a great wife, a great boyfriend, a great daughter, son, fill in the blank. You're gonna burn out. This is my experience. This is not me like challenging you. Eventually, we burn out, and then you're not a friend or a daughter or a wife or a husband or anything to anybody because you are in a complete meltdown, which is where I was back in December. So, but not because I was giving too much, it was just like I was doing too much. But also, if you're like a really good person and you're self-sacrificing, the people in your life probably love you. Definitely the ones who really love have to be doing everything for them. On the other hand, we could be doing more for ourselves. So my friend can probably lean on each other for that. But yeah, well, I am curious to know if your friend did show up. Lots of people do show up to class and don't talk in chat. you're always welcome. Everyone's welcome to talk and chat as long as it's appropriate. And by appropriate, it's like, it's not that deep. It's literally like, you get, like, you know in your heart of hearts what's inappropriate. Otherwise, you can ask any question. You know? So, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable chatting in here, and then they message me after. I'm like, I had no idea you were here. Hello, Eleanor, you know? So maybe your friend was here and just didn't sign into chat. Moving neck side to side, touching the fingers was really interesting, by the way. This Bollywood move, oh yeah. I had a client, worked one-on-one with her, and she had upper back and neck issues. And when I started, she would have like complete breakdown because she was so frustrated because she would do this and I'd be like, no, that's not the movement. This is the movement. And she like couldn't do it yet. Like she like couldn't figure out how to tell her body to do it. I'm like, it's okay. She's like, how can I not do it? It's so simple. Like you're making it look so easy. And I'm like, it's not easy or hard. It's just like I've been like working on doing this like my whole like 30 years of life. And like now you've had 30 seconds to figure out this movement pattern. You haven't figured it out yet. Like that's okay. Like when you get it, you're gonna be like, oh, these little muscles, the front, you have to let go of like, this should be easy. Why can't I do this? Once you let that go, you're gonna enjoy yoga and a lot of life a lot more. I'll let you know he's not the quiet type though, so I think you'd probably know when he shows up. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Bollywood move was tough for me. Totally. It's not like a thing that like necessarily you do. You know who was great at it? Patrick. So for those of you who know Daydream, he's my husband, and he's half Indian and grew up with Bollywood before even, like, I started like watching Bollywood in like 2nd, 3rd grade, 3rd, 4th grade. But he's been watching it since before he could speak because of his mom and his aunties and his grandma. So he was like, this is not like a child, like this is not a thing. And I'm like, I know, but in our, you know, for the rest of us, it's like, gotta start small, create those new brain patterns, you know? It's like new dance, I mean, it's a new dance move, you know? So be patient with ourselves, laugh at ourselves, because at the end of the day, even if you got it on your first try, congrats. You can do a weird head bobble thing that a lot of people can't. You know, it's like you don't get a medal. You get a slow rollout of health benefits for your physical, mental, and emotional body care that only you're gonna feel. You know, we're not weightlifting here, so like you're gonna feel the changes in your body way before anybody mentions it. If anything, come consistently to a yoga class and people will mention that you seem like you're in a better mood. You seem less stressed out. That's what's gonna be visually apparent to people around you way before they're like, where'd you get that 6-pack? Or like, you know, we're not bulking up. It's like not about that. It's about like cardiovascular health, you know, digestive health. Can you see that? Maybe on the outside, you know, but I'm not gonna tell you that this is gonna make your boobs bigger and your waist tinier and like this thing is on the trendy hot body list thing for this year. It's like, it's really not about that. This is about your relationship with yourself. Building up those conversations, those lines of communication to learn from ourselves. You know, forget me. I'm just your excuse. I am your excuse to be in conversation with yourself, so you don't have to feel like a crazy person. I'm already accepted. Crazy person. Talk to myself all the time. Talk to my dog all the time. Who totally ditched me, by the way. Were you guys here yesterday? She was here all day yesterday. Today, she was like here for 2 seconds and was like, I'm over it. I don't even care. I'm bored. Okay. Doesn't like today's lesson. Yeah, it's nice to have the mind-body connected. Yeah. And you know, one of the things in the beginning, when we like stop, when we're doing our grounding meditation and we stop to watch the thoughts, like that's profound. That's, you know, a really profound moment. Like you are watching your thoughts means you are not your mind. You're what's watching your mind. So like, oh shit. Like there's way more going on there than just like, oh, autopilot. What are my thoughts? Thought. I'm this thought. I'm that thought. I'm scattered. Like, no, you're not. Your thoughts are scattered. What do you mean you're scattered? Is your body everywhere? You know? No, you're not scattered. Your mind is wandering. You're not distracted. Your mind is distracted. You know, it's like, take that burden off. It's not you. It's nothing wrong with you. You are whole, perfect, and complete at all times. Your body might be sick. Your mental might be scattered. Your emotions might be frayed. That's not you. It's just a level of you. There's many levels of us. Jolene was meowing a lot and took a nap. This way in the beginning, I'm like, let's just let all the sounds in. You know, it's always like Lucy licking her butt or scratching her ear. You know, the neighbor like flushing a toilet. Like it's always like, it's rarely is it like, what do I say? I'm always like, oh yeah, birds singing outside the window. Like, yeah, there's that happening. And there's also like the construction because I live like on a major road. It's like, yesterday was a little girl screaming during grounding meditation. And I don't even have kids in my apartment. Like she must be visiting. I don't know what was happening. She was just like, she's not like 3 or 4 years old, just like screaming her head off. Just like, you know? Here we are, inviting all these sounds in because they're happening all the time. Half the time I don't even notice it. It's too annoying to notice. Yeah, so just let it go. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to text you in the morning to invite you to class tomorrow. No pressure, but the invite's there. Or Sundays. I've just been texting people on Sundays to invite them, so I'm not super annoying and text every day, but I am here every day, Sunday through Sunday. Same time, same place. We'll be starting a new series tomorrow. I mean, mindfulness is always gonna show up, but we'll see. I have a couple options. I haven't decided yet. I'll decide. We'll decide by the end of the day. So tomorrow I'll be back, 8:20 Pacific. Class starts at 8:30. Yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great day. You're welcome. Amazing to share time with you as well, my friend. Much love from me to